It is weekly rotation time, and what I'll do this week is, before I go into the day-to-day perfume wearings, I will talk about the fact that I introduced 6 new perfume samples into my rotation. So I'm going to talk about those first. It doesn't really matter what days I wore them on. I'll name them, and then I will leave links in the description so you can have a read a bit more about them. I won't talk too much about how they wore, just give you a brief description, because it was the first time. I'm wary of probably being too harsh on any of them or too glowing about any of them based on the first wear. So I'll talk about a couple from the same brand. These 2 perfumes from a brand called, it's in French, so my pronunciation you'll have to forgive, Effronté et Évocateur. One is called Virginia Tobacco Barn, and the other one is called English Shoe Factory. The perfumer for these 2 is Carter Maddox, who is probably better known for his own line, Chronotope Perfume. He designed these perfumes for the brand that I mentioned, Effronté et Évocateur. And the Virginia Tobacco Barn was a very, very promising opening for me, and probably the closest thing that I've smelled to my specific memory of my grandfather's actual tobacco pouch. So that was captured in the opening. It was a little bit funky in terms of it literally smelled of a bit of barnyard as well, which I didn't mind at all. The only issue with my very first wearing of this is that I either became anosmic to this like within half an hour, or it just had really short life on my skin. The one I wore later on in the week from the same brand, this one is called English Shoe Factory, and literally, if you can conjure up what that might smell of and think of leather shoes, also think of rubber soles, captured. And I really enjoyed that one on the first time I wore it, and I could smell it for a lot longer as well. Then I also road tested. I mean, I have smelled this before, but I did wear, we'll stay on the leather theme for now. This is Queer from Bougie. You all know my love for Gilded. This is probably, like last week I wore Verdant, which is their green perfume. I'm really on the fence about which one I like more. I mean, they're obviously really, really different, but this is a really good leather perfume. At times during its development reminded me of one of my first leather loves, and I'm talking about the original Bulgari Black, not the modern day version. I'm talking about when it first came out. It has aspects of that, but I don't want you to think that it's a copy. It just reminded me of how good that perfume used to be. Then the other 3 samples I went through, one that I really enjoyed was Sound and Fog by Filigree and Shadow. I have a perfume from them called My Most Meaningful Relationships. I will keep testing this. Obviously, I really enjoyed that first wear. Now, to me, it was I can't really tell you what I was smelling in terms of notes. Like, I can't say to you, I could smell this and that, just because I am not clever enough to pick out what was in here, other than the general vibe that I was getting off my skin was one of woodiness and spice. There was some aromatic qualities to it, but honestly, I couldn't tell you any of the notes off the top of my head. So I'll let you have a look at it and see what the note pyramid says. And I don't know, but I'll get more familiar with it because I actually enjoyed it. One other sample I got was Irreverent from Histoires de Parfums, and this perfume, this particular line, actually I don't know if it's the same line, but there's a few Histoires de Parfums that have come out in recent years, including ones from this line that I've tried, and also stuff in that gold bottle like Fidelis, which I used to own. There are promising aspects about this perfume, but there is definitely the use of some kind of synthetic woody aroma chemical that I think is supposed to be the oud note that they market in their pyramid. And it just never works on my skin for my nose. The rest of the perfume is promising, but once it dries down to this particular accord or synthetic woodiness, I really stop enjoying it. So it's a bit disappointing. Final new sample for the week is one from a house. Now, at the beginning of the year, there's an indie brand called Himajomo. I will link them in the description. Kindly got in touch with me and asked if I would like to try their perfumes, and I said sure. Send me the sample pack. I just wanted the samples, and would have been, a good way for me to try the whole line. And sadly, and due to my laziness, it's been sitting there untouched, unloved for the better part of a year. And I'm finally getting around to testing them. This first one that I decided to test, so each of their 4 perfumes is inspired by a season. And this one that I'm trying is called Autumn in Loca. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. And it is it's a really interesting combination of a note that I don't usually love, and some incense. The note that I don't usually love is fir balsam. It needs to be blended quite well to work for me on my skin, and it was interesting because when I was wearing this, there were parts of its development I was really enjoying, and then some parts I could really smell things that were a bit discordant to my nose. And usually that happens in a kind of more linear way where, the opening will be nice and then I don't like the dry down, or vice versa. But for some reason, the way this behaved on my skin is that, I enjoy the opening, and then, an hour later, there'd be something I picked up wafting through the air that I didn't really enjoy, and then it would be pleasant again. So it was really strange. The only annoying thing is that this happens occasionally, but samples where, that worked now, but see, I'll do that now and it'll stop spraying. So, see, that smells good. But yeah, I'm just being pedantic and annoying, but I really wish sprayers could just do what they're supposed to do and spray. Okay, let's get on to the week and what I wore each day. On Monday, my mission to empty Timbuktu from Parfumeur continued. On Tuesday, I decided to go rogue male with Antaeus by Chanel. On Wednesday, I decided to go classy male with Vetiver by Guerlain. On Thursday, I decided to go cozy male with Audible by L'Occitane. On Friday, I decided to go King of the Jungle Male with Le Lion by Chanel. Yesterday was all about classy leather male, Bellamy by Hermes. This morning is sophisticated male, Eau Sauvage Parfum by Christian Dior. And to end my week and get into relaxed mode male, I am going to go with Gucci's Memoir d'une Deux and just start my relaxing Sunday evening. Overspray. Thank you for watching my weekly rotation. It's been a pleasure to host you, and I shall see you very soon. Bye for now.